Right, it's the 8th day of February 2022. Good morning from whatever part of the country you are watching us from. Definitely, if the sun is up, you know it's time to get you updated and serve you with the informative content coming out of whatever is making headlines today. That is in our first segment of the show. We'll be looking at what is making in the newspaper. That is a newspaper review. And later on, we'll have our discussion. But before then, we must look at also matters about the headlines, articles, the deeper meaning, and some of the few current affairs that we are having in the country. Talking about all the politics of the day, campaigns are here and there. Also looking at some of the few news that have made headline also in the different sectors, talking about the education sector, health education and other sectors as well. And also out from that, we will be looking at also another matter that has been talked about out from yesterday's words by President Uhuru Kenyatta onto his Deputy President William Ruto, where he did slam him for doing some bit of politics, not looking at issues to do with serving Kenyans and working for them. And that is what is also making headline in some of the different dailies. I'll be explaining to you once I get to that very same point. And out from which as well, we'll be talking about today matters about youth and politics. And we will be looking at youth participation in political matters. Remember, we are headed into a general election, just less than 200 days to go. And out from this as well, we've seen the youths being called upon to involve themselves into matters about politics, beginning with taking up the voter cards and also participating in matters about politics and decision making. And today we will be looking at this as well in analyzing some of the few details that are coming out from it and what we can look forward to in terms of having more youths to be engaged into matters about politics. And that will be the base of our discussion this morning, discussing quite a number of issues that resonates well when we are mentioning about when we are talking about youth participation in politics. My guest this morning is Joel OMIYO, who is a current advocate at the YACH Mombasa, and he will be explaining to me what that means and what does he do in his capacity as an advocate and a member of the YACH Mombasa here. And the topic of discussion is youth's political participation. So if you're a youth out there who is watching us, you can share your comments, share your thoughts. How do you feel about your participation in matters about politics? Do you feel that anything is a hindrance and a barrier to you from participating? And how do you think the government can help out youths and realize their potential in matters about discussing on issues and also decision and leadership making? That is what we will be seeking to find out for you. And remember, you have got three options at your disposal. The first one, you can use the number below your screen, share your comments. And also you can go to our social media platform. On Facebook, we are live, that is Boss TV. And you can do so also on the comment section. And you can find us also on WhatsApp number. That is the very same number that you can check us with and share your comments. And we will be sampling your views as we get along with the show. For those of you who do not know my name is SHADRACK OGEGA, and today, unfortunately, my sign language interpreter, Felix Otieno, is not around, but we just got the program started. Now, and talking about getting the program started, we want to look at what is making headline in the first newspaper this morning. And I'm watching and looking into what is making headline here on the front page of the Standard. I want to begin by looking at what is making headline in the Standard this morning. And Uhuru hits at Ruto, Jubilee backs Raila. And this is a tornado loading. And the tornado loading here is was seen clearly yesterday when President Uhuru Kenyatta takes veiled broadside at deputy, says there are leaders who are only campaigning on top of cars without working. He says he will work with the likes of Joho, a close ally of Raila, and the move come as a ruling party hits at working with 10 Azimio allies to endorse Raila Odinga. And that is a story on page 6, 7, and 8 of the Standard, where President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday during his meetings after commissioning the health forum in Mombasa here lashed out at his deputy for campaigning and forgetting to do his job. And that is what is making headline on whatever came out from issues of the politics that played out yesterday. And there's a picture there showing you President Uhuru Kenyatta towards Chaani Outreach Medical Center in Mombasa, accompanied by Health CS Mutahi Kagwe and Governor Joho before launching the Universal Health Coverage Program yesterday. And that was happening in Changamwe constituency here. And that is also another matter that is explained widely on page 7 and 8 of the Standard. And according to whatever was happening there in relation to matters about health, it's quite summarized on the below page 1 of the Standard. And that was the new launch of the healthcare plan and outpatient benefit package, where 1,000 is what NHIF will pay hospitals to patients who attend at level 2 and 3, 4 and 5 hospitals, whereas in private hospitals they will be paid up to 1,209. And dialysis benefits will be close to 6,500 in public hospitals, while in private hospitals they will take up to 9,500. And that is what you can see below page 1 of the Standard. And also the national scheme radiology benefit will it costs 8,000, but that will be inclusion of it. And according to the numbers also explained there, is that in private hospitals it will close a whopping 15,000. And also maternity benefit is package is 10,000, what NHIF will pay to public hospitals where mothers will be visiting during their pregnancy period. So that is what is happening on the front page in relation to whatever the president was in Mombasa doing yesterday, and you can check that out. And remember that forum enters day 2 today, and we will be following up for you also and give you details as they come through, courtesy of that matter that is happening in the country. Now, out from that as well, on the right side of the Standard, IEBC nets only 1 million voters in the second drive. And we're told here yesterday was Sunday, that is the 6th of February, was the last day for the second voter registration exercise, and it concluded. But what is so surprising is that IEBC has only registered new 1 million voters, and its target was 4.5, but that could not happen. And there has been a lot of questions lingering as to why exactly the youths who are eligible to take up the votes did not turn out to register. And that is what is happening on page 4. And you can be sure that is quite a matter that will be asking my guest, Joel, to explain to me why he feels most of these youths do not come out to register as voters, what could be the issue here, and also what needs to be done to make sure that these youths engage in matters about politics. So that is what is happening on page 4. You can as well read and understand that. Now, glorious Senegal is what is enlisted on page 1 on top there on the sports page 48, and you can see the Senegalese team, they are carrying the trophy, that is the AFCON trophy, after winning against Egypt on penalty kicks 4-2. And that is what is explained, and there is quite a jubilation. And yesterday, the videos and picture all the way from Dakar in Senegal showed you how they were in a celebratory mood, and it was quite an holiday there, looking at how they had toiled hard to get that trophy. And it's quite congratulations for them. But details concerning that you can find on page 48 of the same newspaper. Last but not least, pain and joy of adopting a child is what is explained on page 17. And as usual, every Tuesday inside the Standard, we have that financial Standard pullout that explains to you all the matters pertaining to the economy of the country and where we are at in terms of our finances. So if you are so much interested in matters about finance, you can as well as grab your copy of the Standard and read more on that pullout, and you can get to understand what is explained there. Now, let's shift gears and look at what is also making headline this morning on the front pages of the Daily Nation. And looking at the Daily Nation with me here, we're told that Uhuru set to endorse Raila at party NDC. And we're told that President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday warned those opposed to the OMIYO movement, which has Odinga as the flag bearer, to prepare for a tough battle in the coming days, as he will personally lead the charge. This is President Uhuru Kenyatta, and he was speaking yesterday in Mombasa County. You can check that out. And it's time for politicking is here. You will hear from us. That is what it says. And what is explained there, that 26 is the month at which Jubilee and ODM parties are set to hold a delegates conference in the city, where they are set to endorse Raila Odinga for presidency. Also, there is quite a hope after a new HIV vaccine was found. That is what is explained here. And for 4 decades of research, scientists have quite found out a vaccine that could help out in bringing hope to the HIV patients, and that is what is happening on the Healthy Nation. Pull out inside the Daily Nation. You can read more of whatever is explained there to get updated as well. And also to matters about politics, on the left side below, there's another story that talks about Jubilee won't let us leave, cries UDA. And allies of the President William Ruto say they want to officially deregister from the ruling coalition and jump into the United Democratic Alliance, but they are being frustrated by the Jubilee administration and the Jubilee party, and that is what is happening. And of course, this week we were looking forward to a number of MPs exiting from the Jubilee party and joining the UDA party, but that seemed not to be happening so rightly. Reasons quite explained on page 6 of the Daily Nation. On top of the Daily Nation, on the business news, we are told that fear of job cuts as Kenyan Airways start restructuring. And we're told that the new 27 billion bailout comes with unwanted consequences for 100 of staff at the national carrier, as it's set to restructure its operations. And that is what is happening on page 10 on the business news in relation to the national carrier Kenya Airways. You can read that to understand whatever is happening there. Now, hope and fears at the launch of Universal Health Coverage Plan. New era of patience, but what cost? But at what cost is the question, and that is what is explained on page 9. And last but not least here, on page 2, 3, 38 and 39, the Lions of Teranga. That is what is happening here in relation to the Senegal's win of the AFCON. And there's quite a picture there showing you the Liverpool player and also the Senegalese player Sadio Mane carrying out the trophy and displaying it out to the media. And that is a big, beautiful picture there. But all the details concerning what was happening at the AFCON and how Senegalese celebrated their victory, you can find that on page 2 of the Daily Nation. Now, I want to go straight looking at what is also making headline in the Star newspaper before we look at another newspaper here with me. And on the front page of the Star, Uhuru to the DP, I am no pushover as he defends term. And we're told here, Kenyatta says you cannot build a nation by endless politicking on top of campaign vans. And that is what is happening on page 4 and 5 of the Star in relation to whatever President Uhuru Kenyatta was speaking yesterday while he was launching the Universal Healthcare Plan. And experts warn against Ruto's team push to abolish CBC. we're told here that it's not a secret anymore, that we've seen quite a number of times that the Kenya Kwanza have spoken about the issue of CBC, and that they have stated in some of their political rallies across the country that if Kenyans feel CBC is quite a problem and it has issues, then they will try and fix it out, and even if it may cause as well, they will have to abolish it. But according to this story on page 4 and 5 of the Star, in relation to whatever is happening within the education sector, and the experts there are warning against Ruto's team push to abolish CBC, and they are saying that it's not wise to critique on matters about education, and that is what is happening on page 4 and 5 over the Star. And also it's quite a reshuffle. Azimio appoints Walkenda as the head of protocol for 2022 race, and Raila's campaign team is in talks with the public relations guru who is set to manage communication. And the Star has established that Raila's campaign board has almost reached a deal with the renowned PR officer there, and he will be in charge of carrying out PR services to major brands and high-ranking individuals. So that is what is happening on page 7 over the Star newspaper. Raila's ODM to conduct digital party primaries is also another matter explained on page 7. This is in line to ensure that we have credible nominations, and the ODM party will conduct its party primaries diligently, and this is according to the party elections board chairperson Catherine Maina, who said that aspirants have no reason to worry, as they will ensure they have free and fair nominations. So those are some of the different stories and listed on the Star this morning. As we also proceed looking at what is making headline in the Taifa Leo, I want to remind you of our topic of discussion today. It's all about youth's participation in politics, and this is a topic that we've had quite often, but we want to analyze it in a different type of angle, and how can we increase and gain momentum for the youths to engage into matters about politics and decision making, even as we approach the 2022 August 9th polls. That is a conversation that I'll be engaging with my guest, that is Mr. Joel OMIYO, who is an advocate from the YACH Mombasa, and is already in studio here. And in just a bit, he'll be joining me to talk more about all the matters that pertain to youth's engagement in politics and how they can improve their participation on it. Right. Now, let me shift gears and look at what is also making headline in the Swahili newspaper, that is the Taifa Leo. So quickly here, let's look at what is making in the Taifa Leo. And kwenye ukurasa wa mbele, mpenzi mtazamaji, kilichonakiliwa hapa ni kwamba Kenya Kwanza wacheza siasa na watoto. Unaambiwa kwamba kauli kuwa watafuta CBC wakishinda yakosolewa kama itakayovuruga maisha ya kizazi, na wadau wa sekta ya elimu wanasema kwamba ni makosa wanasiasa kutumia elimu kisiasa kwa ajili ya kujitafutia kura, na wanasema kwamba CBC ina changamoto zake ambazo zinaendelea kutatuliwa, na wanaosema wataifuta mbali wanachapa siasa tu. Ni katika ukurasa wa pili huo ambapo imeeleza taarifa hiyo kwa kina. Chini pale kuna taarifa inayohusiana na ziara Rais Uhuru Kenyatta mjini Mombasa, ambapo alikuwa anatangamana na watoto katika hospitali ya Chaani mjini Mombasa, ambapo alifungua kongamano kuhusu mpango wa huduma za afya kwa wote almaarufu kama Universal Healthcare, na tunaambiwa kwamba pale alizindua mpango huo utakaoonyesha ratiba na jinsi mfumo huo utakaofanyika kama njia mojawapo ya kuboresha huduma za afya. Na kuna picha moja maridadi pale, Rais Uhuru Kenyatta akisalimiana na kutangamana na watoto kwenye hospitali hiyo ya Chaani, akiwa ameandamana na gavana Hassan Joho pamoja na waziri wa afya Mutahi Kagwe. Kero ya afya viwanda vya chumvi Pwani. Unaomba kwamba matatizo ya ngozi yaathiri wakaazi na wafanyikazi wa viwanda vya chumvi huko Malindi, na huenda hali hiyo ikawa si nzuri kutokana na idadi ya wale ambao wamekumbwa na matatizo ya ngozi kutokana na kufanya kazi kwenye kiwanda hicho cha chumvi. Ni katika ukurasa wa 3 na ukurasa wa 17. Alafu bei ya juu ya fertilizer itaalika njaa, fertilizer kumradhi. Na unaomba kwamba wakulima washindwa kununua mbolea ambayo imepanda maarufu, na kutokana na jambo hilo ni huenda pia baa la njaa likashuhudiwa kutokana na kukosekana kwa mbolea kwa wakulima, na ni jambo ambapo serikali kupitia Rais Uhuru Kenyatta wamekuwa mstari wa mbele kulizungumzia, haswa kuhakikisha kwamba wale wakulima wote ambao wanatumia mbolea katika ukuzi wa mimea yao wanapata mbolea hiyo kwa bei rahisi, lakini hilo halijaweza kufanyika. Mwisho kabisa, ripoti yaeleza uwepo wa jela za siri za kutesea washukiwa, na hii inahusiana pakubwa na ripoti ya shirika la kutetea haki za kibinadamu la Haki Afrika. Inaeleza kwamba huenda kuna baadhi ya wafungwa wanaoshukiwa kuteswa zaidi ndani ya magereza yale, na hiyo kulingana na wao ni kukiuka haki za kibinadamu. Ni katika ukurasa wa 5 huo, jitwalie nakala yako uweze kujisomea zaidi. Na kwenye ukurasa wa 20 ambapo ndipo nitakomea, ni kwamba Senegal wanguruma kote Afrika. Hawa ni wachezaji na timu ya Senegali baada ya kutoa ushindi kwenye kombe la mataifa bingwa barani Afrika. Wameonyesha wazi kwamba wao ndio wananguruma kote Afrika, na ni taarifa hiyo katika ukurasa wa 20 wa Taifa Leo. Jitwalie nakala usome haswa upate kuelewa nini kimenakiliwa hapo. Lakini kufikia hapo mimi sina la ziada mpenzi mtazamaji, ila kusitisha rasmi uchambuzi wa magazeti asubuhi ya leo. Kumbuka awamu hii ya kwanza ni awamu ya kukujuza tu baadhi ya taarifa ambazo zimepewa kipaumbele, na ni wajibu wako jitafutie nakala zote uweze kusoma kwa muda wako na uelewe zaidi kinacho nakiliwa pale. Lakini pia usisahau kwamba baadhi ya taarifa ambazo zimenakiliwa kwenye magazeti ni taarifa chipukizi, haswa kongamano lile ambalo linaingia siku yake ya pili leo, na tutahakikisha kwamba sisi tunakufuatizia taarifa hizo kwa niaba yako, na tutakujuza kadri ya jinsi mambo yatakavyochipuka kutoka katika kila pembe. Kwa hivyo wewe ni usalie papo hapo kwenye msururu wetu wa taarifa za hapo baadaye na vipindi vyetu. Tutahakikisha kwamba tunafanya kama ibada ya kukujuza taarifa hizo. Lakini kwa sasa nachukua mapumziko mafupi. Nitakapokuwa narejea itakuwa naingia rasmi kwenye mjadala wetu wa siku ya leo, na mjadala kuhusiana na mchango wa vijana katika masuala ya kisiasa, na mjadala ambao nitakuwa nazungumza naye Bwana Joel Omio ambaye ni mmoja tu wa wale vijana ambao wako mstari wa mbele kuzungumzia masuala ya kisiasa, masuala ya uongozi na masuala ya kivijana pia. Kwa hivyo mazungumzo haya yatakuwa na kukujia mbashara muda usiokuwa mrefu. Usiende mbali.